Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now March 24th of 2022, and ever since the very end of TV shows like The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and The Bad Batch, a lot of Star Wars fans have now really been looking forward to some of the more Force-related Star Wars TV shows like the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show and the Ahsoka Tano TV series. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, we are of course now at the very end of March. We're in the final days before we head into April, which by the way is going to be a very important month for Disney and Lucasfilm, as that is going to be the very month when they begin filming the Ahsoka Tano TV series, which also brings a return of actor Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker once again in multiple forms. So we have a lot of things happening with what George, John, and Dave are trying to do by combining both Star Wars Legends and the existing Disney canon, and also really trying to bring a return of some of the key characters also from Star Wars Legends into becoming a reality. And that is also in the process to really satisfy the hardcore fans that really have supported this franchise from the very beginning. So here we are, it is March 24th now, time is flying by, we're getting very close to the Kenobi TV show on May 25th. In fact, we will be getting a full-length trailer for the show in early May. They're going to give us a little bit of a break in between to kind of anticipate the series a little bit more, and then the real marketing begins in early May, leading up to May 25th on the release day. So with that being said, however, what's even all the more intriguing has everything to do with creator George Lucas and of course Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy, and how it involves something that recently happened behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm and Disney. Now this of course will also involve Bob Chapek, who by the way has been very busy with the overall roadmap of the franchise as we speak. Now, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars universe, creators Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are actively working on the Ahsoka series for Disney+. It's described that currently Disney CEO Bob Chapek is preparing to create a host of special announcements at Star Wars Celebration this year. However, it's noted that recently creator George Lucas actually made a major change in the Star Wars lore and universe that he is working on with Jon and Dave Filoni for the Star Wars franchise. Now, further, it's described that recently George Lucas engaged in a very important meeting with the higher-ups over at Disney, along with Bob Chapek, that involved a discussion, of course, of surrounding Kathleen Kennedy in the new universe. It's described that just recently George Lucas put a big plan that was being put together by Kathleen Kennedy to a complete stop and halt for Project Vortex, which is going to be her second Star Wars TV series for Disney Plus that also takes place in the High Republic era. Now, it's noted that George Lucas convinced the Disney higher-ups to put a complete stop to Kathleen Kennedy creating major retcons of the prequel trilogy using Project Vortex that would actually have and was going to completely change the story of episode 1 through 3 and the entire meaning of the prequel trilogy films using the new Star Wars TV show. Now, this process took around 2 months to go full circle, and Lucas was able to convince the Disney board members to not allow Kathleen Kennedy to use harsh retcons against the prequel trilogy movies in the Project Vortex series. So in case you guys have been very unfamiliar with all of this, is that Project Vortex is commonly referred to as Stranger Things in space. And what I mean by that is that they are approaching the series as mixing together both Stranger Things and Star Wars. That's essentially what Project Vortex is going to be. And they really wanted to get this thing filmed by this June. And ever since George Lucas convinced Disney and of course the CEO Bob Chapek to move forward with really putting a complete stop to those retcons of episodes 1 through 3, there's a lot of changes now happening with Project Vortex and the overall script of the series. Moving on. So on top of all of that, this is described to be leading to some rewrites for the series that is going to officially delay production for the new TV show on Disney Plus that surrounds Jedi Padawans traveling across the entire galaxy. Now, Kathleen Kennedy initially had planned over 10 big retcons toward the prequels that would be used in the series that is now going to be written out of the series and replaced with other ways of storytelling. However, even though Kathleen Kennedy will still be doing some retcons toward Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, using the Acolyte TV show, the more significant retcons in Project Vortex have now been cancelled and came to a full stop by George Lucas convincing Disney to do so. Now, this process was said to be very difficult, of course, as Disney didn't want to delay filming for the series, as they didn't want to release this, of course, too late in time in 2023. However, Kathleen Kennedy is now forced into a position to have the writers rewrite many big portions of the TV show, who actually started, of course, with all of this and just some days ago, to regulate the overall TV series that will actually no longer involve big retcons of the prequel trilogy movies. Now, Kathleen Kennedy is described to be very frustrated over all of this and even tried to prevent this from happening. And even, of course, however, Disney took George's side in order to protect the lore of the prequel trilogy movies, as they know many fans of those so far, of course, know that Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland are not being truthful with the Acolyte TV show. So here's the big deal about this, and this is one thing that I think a lot of fans need to be very well aware of, is that Project Vortex was originally going to have a massive series of retcons against The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith that was going to completely change our perception of some of the characters like Anakin, Qui-Gon Jinn, Yoda, and more out there. And they had their special ways of using these retcons in Project Vortex that was going to be used. They're doing something similar with the Acolyte, but on a more minimal scale that's not going to be quite abrasive as that. But when you look at everything related to what Kathleen Kennedy has done for the past number of years to the sequel trilogy and what she has been trying to do with the Acolyte series, with Vortex, and how Vortex is now coming to a full stop when it comes to retcons against the prequels, finally, and I say finally, it seems that George Lucas is getting things his way. And the Disney higher-ups are really getting very impatient with Kathleen Kennedy, running into a lot of brick walls with her shows. I mean, when you look at the Acolyte TV show, this is one series in particular that really has had a lot of setbacks, a lot of problems behind the scenes. But Project Vortex, this is the very first setback that they're actually engaging with, because of Kathleen Kennedy engaging way too many retcons toward the prequel trilogy movies. Now, the one thing that I think a lot of fans need to know that's also extremely important is the fact that Project Vortex, it's not necessarily going to be a show meant for kids, quote unquote, but it's going to feature kids in the TV show, if that makes sense to you guys. So, it's going to be about Padawans, it's going to feature the High Republic era, it's going to take place more or less in the middle or the early days of the High Republic, whereas opposed to, of course, the Acolyte TV series takes place at the very tail end of that era, showing us the downfall of the High Republic era. Now, that's one interesting thing as well, is the fact that how is Leslie and Kathleen Kennedy going to handle that? That's a big question open on the table for discussion. So overall, George Lucas is finally getting his way. Everything seems to be moving in motion in a positive sense. This was definitely, a big dodge of many different bullets coming his way to really preventing from episodes 1 through 3 getting terrible retcons that are now going to be completely erased from Project Vortex. Let me know what you guys think about this new Vortex project. Do you think that Stranger Things in space is a good way to go? Because it doesn't seem like it's going to be a great project by Kathleen Kennedy, to tell you guys the truth. Not quite sure how fans are going to react to all of this. They're still trying to get this thing released by 2023. But yeah, guys, overall, let me know what you think about all this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.